and welcome to today's program. Today we have a special guest, one of the most well-known and adored art critics of our time, Sister Wendy Beckett. Sister Wendy is a nun who, while living in a convent, decided to pursue her love of art. She began writing for various art magazines. She was discovered by the BBC and became well known for art history documentaries. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
I thought today we could discuss one piece of art of your choosing.
Yes. Today we'll be discussing Red Room by Henri Matisse.
I know that there were many dominant art movements during this time. Which movement does Red Room belong to?
This is a piece from the Fauvist movement, which developed in 1905. This movement was dominated by youth and exhilaration. Matisse himself led the Fauvist movement from 1905 to 1906. This sudden outburst of new painters was primarily due to the creation of new exhibition halls where young painters could both display and see the work of others. These young artists were enraptured with bright colors and boldness. They were called wild beasts. They sought to create a composition of chaos. They valued individualism over all else. Matisse himself rejected conventions of the Impressionist style and instead embraced color and line over all other aspects. This is apparent in Red Room.
So, what are we looking at exactly in this piece?
This picture shows a woman arranging a table full of objects, a vase with flowers, and to the left a chair. Beyond, a window pierces the wall. It is bold. The furniture extends across the canvas. The fruit is no more realistic than the wallpaper, and the window is but a flat tapestry. Here, Matisse abandons all elements of plasticity and industrialization. The composition is dominated by organic shapes.
This piece is very flat. How does he accomplish that effect, and what is the role of the window?
Matisse tackles the question how to depict a box-shaped space while keeping the picture two-dimensional. One way in which he does this is by using the same colors for horizontal and vertical surfaces. For example, the table and the wallpaper are the same shade of red. They impossibly blend into each other. He also includes the same pattern on the wallpaper as the tablecloth. It creates a very two-dimensional effect. The window represents an outgoing openness to nature. No matter if it is a window or a picture within a picture, it succeeds in expanding the composition.
So, what do you think is the overall significance or the message of this piece?
Although this scene looks like a dining room, it is the artist inside his studio, inside his head. It's deeply personal. Some have pointed out that the maid is actually an alter ego of Matisse, setting up the still life for him to paint. The tablecloth is symbolic of a canvas. The window seems to represent one of his own paintings. Just like in his studio, this painting provides a sense of serenity for all who view it.
We have the Fauvist influence, but would you say Red Room has a link to the Art Nouveau movement as well?
Most definitely. It is visible in his use of line and areas of flat colour, and his love of nature. The influence of nature can both be seen in the interior and the exterior landscape. Almost everything is from nature. Even the maid echoes the curvilinear lines of the natural landscape and the plant shapes around her.
What do you think is the socio-political context of his work?
I believe the most important socio-political context is that of his childhood, which would influence him throughout his life. Matisse was born in 1869 in the town of Beauhain, located in the north of France. He lived in Beauhain until he was 21. The environment had a huge impact in shaping his interests. The town where he grew up was treeless, bare, and full of factories. Later on in his life, he would describe it as a prison. In addition, during this time, the village where he lived was in the midst of an intense industrialization. The town of Beauhain was mainly in the trade of textile manufacturing. The area was occupied by Prussian armies in the aftermath of the Franco-Prussian War during Matisse's childhood. This provided him with a dull and almost hostile environment for him to grow up in. Because of his dismal childhood, later on in life, he embraced beauty and color. That is why he focused on joy, light, and color. He had such a lack of it growing up. Because of this, he created some of the most powerful beauty ever painted. Matisse once said that art should be something like a good armchair, in which to rest from physical fatigue. And I think that we can all agree that he succeeds in his endeavor to create beautiful, serene art.
Thank you so much for joining us today. To discuss a piece of your choosing today. Oh my god. Okay. I know. Yes! I'm so freaking excited!
Okay.
This movement was dominated by youth and exhilaration. Matisse himself